welcome back to my channel. We are That One Bookmaker. Today we have Dust Froggy with me again, and we're going to be going over the story idea. We're going to just jump right in. Oh, another warning in case you skipped the original one. Apocalyptic world idea here. If you don't like the apocalypse, please, for your own comfort, do not watch this. There's also going to be talk about infected members of society, your comfort, and I don't want you feeling uncomfortable while watching any of my videos. So if you don't like that stuff, bye! Find something you enjoy watching, whether that be Minecraft or Gacha Life or dogs, whatever makes you happy. I genuinely care about that. So, they find a new version of that mushroom and they bring it to their lab to examine because new things need to make sure it's safe. One specific researcher is in there, like in the container they bring it in, and messing with it, and eventually he accidentally punctures it. And he inhales some of the spores and immediately, so he punctures it, he inhales the spores, now he is infected. Because, yes. Why are you sighing? Sorry, my dog is behind the camera and she's just sighing. So now he is a carrier of the virus. Without knowing it, of course, because he is now a carrier of the virus and he doesn't know it. So he's now leaving work as a researcher because he has a day off or something. And he goes and visits his grandma, who is in one of those fancy little take care of old people place. I don't know what they're called. And so he goes and visits her. He doesn't know I look so dark on this side. And so now he has brought the infection to his grandma. And so, found some glasses. That is so bright. So now he has brought the infection to his grandma because the infection is carried through air and through spores in the air. So how the infection works, because I feel like that's important before we continue, is that the spores are in the air. You have to inhale them and they settle in your lungs. It's in your lungs, it settles, it creates small spore pockets in your lungs. And the actual thing some of it starts to grow, and then it alters how you behave because it's carried through air. So when you inhale it, it's in your lungs, it creates small spore packets, which then eventually rupture from moving, coughing, it growing too big to outgrow the size of the sac. And then you exhale it. Exhale means breathe it out. And then it fills the air around you. And there are 5 stages of this said infection, each having their own altering behavior and all that, and then your health and all the stuffs. I thought this through. So again, he infects his grandma. He was first infected. He's the first infected human, not first documented infected, other than from my knowledge. The people in my book do not know that. Bippity boppity boo. Am I allowed to use that phrase? Will that get me in trouble? Yeah, that is the basic backstory. Scientist finds mushroom, takes mushroom for study, punctures mushroom, inhales spores, is now infected, does not know is infected, visits grandma, exhaling spores in grandma's place. Grandma becomes infected, grandma gets sick, Grandma eventually dies from infection. Spores rupture. The spores she exhales fill up the space she is now in at the hospital because she gets sick and needs medical attention. Other people in hospital get sick eventually, and then the people who don't know that they are infected spread it across the world because people travel, and then more people become infected, and then it becomes a worldwide case. Basic summary, if none of that is understandable, please let me know. But yeah, basic summary of the backstory of this virus. Is it an autistic thing that light hurts? Yes. Decided that we're gonna go over the stages of infected because I said there are 5 stages, the 5th being the worst. So stage 1 is the first contact with the spores, like you inhale them and stuff. And as we know, that what happens, sacs are formed, sacs eventually rupture, you breathe them out. But the sacs do not fully start to form until stage 2, which is when common signs of being sick occur. Coughing fits is the main sign. Because the things have started to form, they're uncomfortable, and then, like, as most people know, like, when you feel like there's something inside your throat, you'll try and cough it out, or when you feel like something's, like, stuck, you cough to get it out. At least that's what I do when I feel like, when I'm not feeling good and there's, like, mucus in my throat, I like to, like, cough, like, get this out, or chug water. Right, I forgot. Stage 2 is also when the sacs can start to rupture, which definition of rupture, but yes, when it can rupture or just burst. I should just say burst or break. The spore sacs can burst or break in stage 2 because of the coughing and constant, like, agitation, constant movement of the lungs, because coughing and inhaling, exhaling, all the things, all the movement of the lungs can cause them to burst. Because as we know, our lungs, like, move when we inhale, exhale, or cough. I think coughing counts. I'm not sure about that one. But inhaling, exhaling repeatedly, which is just living. But stage 2 is also when you break off into the 2 types of carrier of the infection: contagious, non-contagious. Contagious is when you, like, exhale it and the spores infect people. Are able to infect people. Otherwise, you just carry the spore, like. Contagious is when the spore sacs are thinner and easier, or sorry, words are hard. Contagious are when they're thinner or are thinner and easier to burst. That is when they are contagious because, like, they're bursting more rapidly. They're easier to break. Non-contagious people are when, like, the sacs are incredibly thick. Like, I do this, but that's not, like, how actually, like, thick they are. How thick is a lung? But they do not burst. So they are eventually, like, and it takes the host dying, because they still will die from this infection, for them to start to grow, because as we know, when something is rotting, like a tree trunk, bones, because I think mushrooms can still grow on bones. Decomposing bodies. Just dead things. Mushrooms tend to grow near or on. I know things. Many of my statements are incorrect. Please correct me. I don't need to do a rant on the English spelling right now. Yes, but contagious carriers sacs burst and they exhale it out, and it infects other people who inhale the spores. Non-contagious carriers have thick sacs that do not burst or rupture until the body starts to decompose or is dead. But yes, that is stage 2, when you start to break off to the contagious or non-contagious. It is more common for carriers to be... Bees keep attacking my window! Contagious is more common. Non-contagious is not rare, but not common either. But yes, then we go to stage 3, which is where behavior changes start to happen. So in stage 3 is when behavior changes start to happen, where they will want to, the infected member will become incredibly extroverted. But yeah, they will become incredibly extroverted because the virus is starting to alter them. This is also one of the stages that is incredibly dangerous for the human infected infected member of society. So, incredibly extroverted, as well as this is when it starts to alter how the human functions. I bit my tongue. Ow. They will start to lose their appetite. Coughing fits will increase because spore sacs have increased in size. And yes, it is a more dangerous stage of the virus too, because non-contagious people and contagious people will be out in public all the time, and their behavior has altered so much because they're infected, to where it is not the same person you knew before they were infected. They are incredibly pushy with wanting to be around people, needing to be around people. They will start to lose their appetite because lots of foods, ingredients in different food, and some plants have like anti-mushroom stuff. I don't know. I've heard that before. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I do not want to be wrong. I'm very serious on making this as accurate as I humanly can, because there's not an apocalypse going on yet? Question mark. But yeah, they are going to lose their appetite because it has officially changed the way they function almost entirely. Their personality is no longer the same. Mood swings, more common, more coughing fits as well, loss of appetite. Officially, this is just... Okay, so you know how parasites change the the aspects of how an animal works. Like, parasites will consume nutrients from the host. They will take control of the brain, not the brain, but like take control of how it works, will like basically do all that stuff. That is basically what happens, except No, it's basically just like a host parasite thing. But yeah, basically, stage 3 is when everything starts to change. Appetite lost, more coughing fits, incredible social, like they want to be social all the time. They will basically not want to be anywhere alone. They will want to be out in public because that is how they can spread it. Because in stage 3, as I've already stated, the sacs start to rupture more and they grow more, so there's more spores being released, and it's delayed, so they're gonna be incredibly driven to be out in public. Because their appetite is completely gone, they also start to get sick because they haven't eaten. Quickly go over stage 4 and 5, which stage 4 is not much worse than stage 3. And then I might end the video unless I are basically dying due to this infection already. Stage 4 is when they become incredibly sick, like they have not eaten in so, they've gotten incredibly sick because they have not eaten in so long that they are literally starting to starve to death. So they are literally dying because they want to be anywhere other than alone. They have zero appetite. They are basically driven by this infection to just infect other people. Their main goal of infected members are just infect other people. That is the only goal. And by stage 5 is literally, I have it written on the top of my paper as stage 5 doom. Because literally by stage 5, they are dead. The contagious people are literally, they go through the same steps, except they don't infect people along the way, though they are infected themselves. So they are still not safe to be around, because by the time they die, because they will die, they will reject any food, any help offered. They won't eat at all. They are just social until they die, because that's what the infection wants. It wants them to be around as many people as it inhumanly can to eventually infect others when it does pass. Because like, it's not going to be a they die in their sleep kind of thing, because they can die in their sleep, but most likely it is going to be they just drop dead, because like they're going to be out in public all the time, every single time. By that time, the fall, the constant movement to rupture those sacs, even in a non-contagious individual, because like they're non-contagious until they die. Because contagious is where like a living being is carrying a virus, like humans when they're sick, they carry it, they cough, they sneeze on you, like you be around them, you are most likely to get sick as well. It's basically the same thing, except they're non-contagious until they just drop dead, because then as the body decomposes and all that, because if you bury them, it's going to go through the soil and grow more of those mushrooms, because spores are basically just seeds. So you plant those seeds, you're going to grow more of those mushrooms. And the mushrooms are eventually going to release more spores into the air where you bury the body. So the only real way to ensure that a dead person is unable to release those spores into the ground, into the air, onto others, is just burning them. Nobody, dead body, is safe when it comes to this, because they are literally, they could have died due to, oh, another thing is, when they are mutating into these several stages, they can become violent because that's like their mood is being completely altered. The way their brain works is completely altered. So when you reject them to being around them, wanting to socialize with them, wanting to be anywhere near them, it's definitely gonna like upset them because it's like, this is my one goal. Why won't you let me do this one goal? So they can become aggressive. I forgot to mention that, and I apologize. But basically, that is all. But in stage 5, they do die. They die, and even contagious members, they will just still be, because like when you die, all the gases and air in your body like release. But basically, you're still releasing all the. They're still releasing all the spores and all that. Saying they are still contagious. The only safe way is to burn the bodies so that they cannot produce the spores into the air or into the ground around them. Because this, I'll go over that in a different video or a part 2 of this eventually. But I have officially been recording for 28 minutes and I don't really want to let it reach the 30-minute mark. But thank you if you stayed this long. If you enjoy my current content or the story idea for my book, because reminder, this is a book, this is not real life, this is not a real dangerous virus, though please remember to take care of yourself. If you haven't eaten or drank anything, go take care of yourself, you adorable little bean. I will try to remember to post content every day or every other day or whenever I'm available to, because school. But I appreciate if you stuck around this long. Hopefully you did. If you like this, please like or subscribe to continue getting updates on my book or my characters or the way all my stories develop. Yeah. Appreciate you guys. I will see you in the next video.